Okay folks, so last little bit of digging. We've got all the pipes in the hole, or on the hole. That last one, as you can see, is still proud of the hole. By the end of this video we'll get that one flush with the ground, which is I'll be 43 inches there. 43 inches, what's that in French? 110, 1100 millimeter. Okay, so that's it really. Do you want to have a look down at the bottom? Oh yeah, I might as well. This hopefully shouldn't be as long as the other videos if everything goes to plan and there's no dramas. Let's have a quick tour. Okay, we're currently down the hole with all the mosquitoes. Yeah, can't really see the mosquitoes. I just about see the mighty crane. She's coming into focus up top there, and got the bucket down here. Haven't been down here since I put the last pipe on, or since I dropped it down another foot or so. So there's still a bit of debris here. I don't have to start digging. I just need to clear that debris. And what this is where the water level got up to in the 2 weeks that it was sat since I last came down here. Yeah, so most of it appears to be coming in from this mortar joint here, which is okay, and the rest of the pipe is just completely dry until you get down to where the water level was. So, you know, I think this is going to be good, folks. I think, despite us having had quite a bit of rain recently, the dry walls are a good sign. Certainly, even if this shaft remains a bit damp because of a couple of dodgy joints, when we start going horizontal all, we should hopefully be dry as a bone. Yeah. All right. Okay. I'm going to get rid of this camera and my jacket and start digging, I suppose. Poor thing. I don't know if I mentioned this, but whoever designed these steps, it's such a lovely job. Such a lovely job. Caked in clay, still plenty of grip on them. Such a good job. I do like these steps. Very nice steps, aren't they? Hey? And a big drop down to the bottom. Ooh.
Okay folks, I think that might have been the last bucket load of muck to come out of that hole. We'll see, but just in case it was, that'll be the last load of muck this crane pulls up. I'm just going to get down there with the little handheld pick and tidy up a few of the edges, and then I'll take you down there, and then we'll sit some water containers on top and try and slide the pipe the last 4 foot into the ground. Hey, exciting times. Okay folks, we're down at the bottom of the hole. It's what? Quite a few feet up, isn't it? Hey? How many feet? I don't know, 7.5 meters of pipe and another meter down below, more than that. Yeah. Anyway, you can see what I've been working through. I've put an undercut on that. It's not that visible, but and then it narrows down towards the bottom, so hopefully to arrest the pipe a little bit. I don't want it crashing down. This is about the biggest drop I've attempted. Should be alright though. What? A little bit is dropping off already. It doesn't look like. Yeah, we can just about see what's going on here. This is a shale rock or mud rock or some bollocks like that. I think it's mud rock. I don't know. I've got my little magnetic torch, but there's nothing really magnetic around here. Here we go. There's a chain there. Yeah. So this actually took the chisel to get through. Oh, it's rubbish, isn't it? The speckly brown stuff. But then that sort of ended, and we're back into the comparatively soft clay. So that was quite easy to get through once I'd bust through the mud rock. Yeah. But this, where I'm sat right now, is the bottom of the tunnel. Bottom of the shaft, sorry. So if this all goes down in one go, it might not. I might have put too big a taper on here. You know what I mean. I don't just want it to parallel sides. 2 reasons for the taper. In my mind, it's going to help seal it up if it's a tight fit, but also so it doesn't come crashing down all in one go, because there'll be at least a ton of water on top of it as well, isn't there? So that's where we're at. I don't know why I'm whispering. Oh yeah, it gets a bit echoey if you don't whisper, doesn't it, hey? Anyway, so I'm going to put the vibrating car jack back in, probably the third pipe up again. Don't know why that's the chosen one that's worked so far. Third pipe up's been nice. And then we'll get the crane out of the way. Can you see it? Can you see the crane? And maybe potentially that crane will never come back over the top of the hole, because that'll end up being cut up, folks. Unless someone wants to make me an offer, hey? Yeah. Anyway, that's it. Let's try and drop this pipe down the rest of the way. extension lead's not plugged in. Let's go and switch the vibrator on.
Couldn't have been a worse time.
Oh, she just dropped, folks. Okay, so it's not quite down far enough, unfortunately. So we'll pull those tanks off and do some more digging, I suppose. But you know, that gives the crane a few more bucket loads to do before it gets decommissioned. Okay? So you know, not all bad, not all bad. I expect the crane's happy about that. Does make me a little bit nervous being around it like this. It's very low, you know, you could easily trip in there in it, and timber's a bit skiddy around the outside and there's wet mud. Right, so let's just crack on and get this last bit of digging done, and then I'm going to put something over the top to make sure nothing nasty happens until we're ready to do the next bit. Obviously we'll have the bottoming out ceremony before that happens. God, I love this crane. All the clutches are fucked on everything now, isn't it? That clutch on the drive motor, that just you know, you touch it and it's on, and there's no way of switching it off apart from shutting the engine down and then sorting the belt out. And the clutch in the winch motor, you know, I've got spares, isn't it? But that's stuck on for whatever reason. There's just no point fixing it now. This is like literally the last. It's the home straight, lads. The last few times I already thought it was going to be the last time that bucket went down the hole last time, but yeah, this is it. This really will be the last couple of dunkings of the bucket. Just got to suck the water out because we've emptied quite a bit of water into it accidentally, and obviously there's a little bit from the couple of days it's been stood. Let's get that out and get this finished. Okay, folks, look, not even 200 litres, it probably is about 200 litres. There's a graduated scale here. Oh, look, 300 litres, 300 kilos. Yeah, it's enough to get it moving this time. Pretty cool. The white dot is just above the timber, exactly where we wanted it, and what? That's it. That's the shaft. The shaft is sunk. I'm going to nip off to the shop and buy myself a cigar, and then I'll join you in the bottom of the hole for the bottoming out ceremony. God, this is romantic, isn't it, eh? Let's try and light another couple of tea lights. Yeah, that's all right, isn't it? Hey, get a bit of light down here, bit of illumination. Nice and echoey, isn't it? Eh? We're gonna put this one on the spade. Oh, beautiful! Look at that. It's like daylight, isn't it? Hey, look. I mean, obviously, it's tradition to have a topping out ceremony, yeah. When you put the last when you put the ridge piece on a building, you know, like the tallest bit of the building, when that goes on, like before the roof gets done normally, isn't it? I mean, traditionally, isn't it? It's like when the highest point is reached, that's when you have your topping out ceremony and that, like, and it's different all around the world, isn't it? Like, it's fantastic. And my favourite one's the Dutch one, and the builders they'll put a flag up, yeah, signifying that they've completed you know, the structure of the building, and they'll only take it down after the customers paid them in beer. Yeah, I quite like that. On the subject of which, cheers lads, rather than champagne and a cigar, I've got you know, some little cigars and a tin of Stella. I actually got two down there, you know, because it's quite a special occasion, isn't it? Fucking trains, I can still hear it from down here, bastards. Been a bit of a slog, folks, isn't it? Been off the beer for ages, isn't it? Well, we went back on a couple of weeks ago, just for a week or two. Pretty good. I think I've earned this. We've earned this, lads. Crack one open for me, eh? Lovely. Okay, so let me strike up my cigar. We'll crack the other one open and have a little chat about what's happening next, eh? Oh, I used to work with some bloke. I mean, this is when I was working at a timber shop whilst I was at college and that, you know. And there's this nearly 70-year-old. I was young, you know, 17, 18, and there's this lovely chap from Sheffield in it, and he'd moved down south, which is where I was at college, isn't it? When they'd shut the mills up and you know, and the cold had stopped, and he used to send me off to the newsagents to get a cigar. Or a packet of tobacco, so we could have a roly-poly. Yeah. And that's what I got started on the old cabinets, and I quite like them. Don't like smoking the big ones. It's a bit too much for me, and okay. Oh, fucking splendid, lads. Did it, you know, all the hardships, all the fucking all the challenges and that. Punched straight through the fucking water table, didn't we, eh? We did it. Cheers. Cheers. We're at the bottom. We've only just begun, mate, eh? No, it's really echoey. Really echoey. Obviously, there's not much I can do about that right now. That's it, really. What next? What next? What next? Okay, yeah, I know everyone wants me to go horizontal and that. Like, that's what everyone's dying to see in that, but I was thinking I'd rig up a temporary lift. You know, a temporary muck bucket, and just carry on using the ladder. But you know, I've kind of come to the conclusion now that I've got, whatever happens, I've got a cast my lintel and wall sections, and then my roof sections before I go horizontally, and then leave them for a month so that concrete gets good and hard. And I kind of feel like I should stabilise the top, yeah, just to avoid anything bad happening to this shaft, which it could still do, because remember I've got the top of this shaft isn't actually going through the soil. There's a bit of a gap there, so if I accidentally drive a dump truck on top of it, there's always a possibility I could do some damage to it, serious damage, and that'd be, more delays. So I want to get the top section sorted first. Yeah, well, first I've got to get some heat in the shed so I can do some glass fibre, so I can make the moulds for the precast sections. Cheers, lads. Then, as long as we've got good weather still, it's warm enough to do the concrete topside, we'll dig out around the top of the, I'll get an excavator in, probably quite a big one, because I can get down as deep as possible, and then, dig out around the top, and I want to backfill with concrete, yeah? We'll throw some some rebar in there, and then, because all the ventilation pipes are going to run up the outside of this, yeah? Well, not quite down at this level, but from the top, they're going to run along the ceiling underground, and then they'll run up the side of the shaft. And rather than coming out at the top, they're going to come out 8 foot below, and we'll have another little basement level there. So whilst we're not going to make the basement yet, as we're stabilising the top, I'm going to cut the doorway for the basement level, and for the ventilation and everything else, and do all that concrete in one go. Yeah, and when I finish that, I'm going to have to cast the concrete pillars that will take the hydraulic lift motor. Yeah, I'm sure you'll remember the hydraulic winch that we got for the lift motor. So we could just do concrete pillars. That'd be a little bit boring. We could do them in plywood. We could shut her up in plywood and just fill the middle. But really, because up top where we've got all the lift gear is eventually going to become my machine shop, my new machine shop, and I want to die in this house, yeah? Like, no time soon, don't worry about it. But, I want to stay here forever, isn't it? And I want this machine shop to be the absolute fucking tits, so I don't want anything shitty looking in there. So rather than just make some crappy pillars, we're going to spend a bit of time making a nice mould for those pillars. So we're going to have some sort of, Industrial Revolution, Romanesque pillars supporting the lift gear, yeah. But I mean that's not going to take long to make those moulds. Yeah. The only thing I'm saying is that don't be too upset with me if we can't do the concrete once we're ready to do the concrete. I mean, it's getting cold already. I don't want to be pouring critical concrete and risk having it freeze, because that would be fucking annoying, wouldn't it? Sorry. So whatever, there's so much more fun stuff we have to do. Even if we do get a bit of delay, it doesn't matter. It just means that everything else gets done while we're waiting for the right weather to do the concrete, So we've got to obviously build the steel work to support the hydraulic winch. I want to strip that winch down. We've got to do that, and the lift is going to be powered by that little single cylinder Lister diesel for now, yeah. And that needs a full rebuild because that's stuck, and I want that nice and reliable. And we have to find a starter ring for it and an electric starter, because I want to be able to switch that diesel engine on from down here you know, if the lift's down here or if the lift's up there but I'm down here, we've got to be able to do that. And I might not do that all initially, but definitely wants to be like that eventually. Because who else can say they've got a diesel hydraulic winch, diesel hydraulic lift to their underground bunker, but I mean, I don't know anyone else who has, personally. I know a lot of people as well. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, anyway. Yeah. But we at least want to get that engine good and reliable so it doesn't have to come apart again. And that's another thing. I want engine bearer, but with a little bit of a bunge around it. So if we have hydraulic leaks or anything, it all goes in that bunge rather than coming straight down this entrance shaft, which would be terrible, wouldn't it? Because you know, once we've done all that stuff up top, we're going to have to put a floor at the bottom here with a sump in it, yeah, and we'll get one of those well pumps. And the water here, once we tunnel a bit that way, we will be bringing mud, you know, up this shaft and down the shaft. So there will be, you know, there will be mud getting in it, but it won't be anywhere near as severe as the you know, the water that we've been pumping out so far. So you know, hopefully we get it really nice and dry, but there will always be a little bit of moisture, so we need a sump. So we need to make a mould for a little sort of top hat, concrete top hat, so I can put a big sump right in the middle of the shaft and have a well pump there. And well pumps are great for low volume delivery but high pressure, so that will send it straight up without any questions asked. We'll need a series of pumps around this structure anyway. And a load of other fun stuff as well. You might have noticed I did get a shot of the new dump truck. I suppose I should explain that. Yeah. It had been my intention to build a new dump truck this winter, something bigger, so I'd have to empty it less. So as I'm going horizontal, you know, I've not got to worry about emptying the dump truck every time I take a ton of earth up. And it probably won't be a ton of earth I'll go up here. You know, that thing up top's only got a sort of 300 kilo capacity, but the new dump truck that you saw a glimpse of, that's a 1.5 tonner, yeah. So that's a massive capacity increase, but you know, because I just bought the cheapest one I could find, the gearbox has exploded, so you know, another little job that needs doing, isn't it? At least an investigation into what's going on with that gearbox. There is a dirty great big crack down the gearbox, and the gearboxes are pretty rare, and as a result they're pretty expensive. It's annoying because like every single dump truck built in England, virtually, has that same gearbox, a Newage 40M. You know, for like the last 50 years, every dump truck built here has had a Newage gearbox in it. There's two types. There's a 40 or an 80 on the larger machines, but this is a small 2-wheel drive with a Dutch diesel. It's a horrible engine. I know everyone loves the Dutch diesels, but it's not got a heavy flywheel on it, so when you're trying to crank it over, you drop the decompression lever and it just wants to snap your arm straight away. You know, it's not like the English engines that have a humongous, great big flywheel on them. So you know, you can almost keep, once you're up to speed, you can dump the decompression and it just carries on turning. But no, this isn't like that. It's not a pleasant thing to start. But 13 horsepower, so it's quite a lumpy thing, you know. Anyway, that's just another job, but that's not going to hold us up. I mean, even if we have to work using a little dump truck, yeah, and just, you know, whenever I find a reasonably priced gearbox case, we'll get that thing working. That's it, I reckon. You know, thanks for joining me on this mission to the centre of the earth. You know, like I say, I'm sorry we're not going horizontal straight away. We've got other things to make sure this goes as well as it possibly can do. I'm sure we'll have a lot more challenges, and cheers guys. Yeah, take it easy. Until next time. Cheerio lads, bye bye.